Thanks for staying on the program. My name is Kimini Nyamani Amano. Now, a fire outbreak last night in Abossey Okai exposed the operational deficiencies in the Ghana National Fire Service. The fire ravaged 4 containers packed with vehicle tires. Joy News' Derek Ekosam was there and came through with the following report.
Eyewitnesses could not readily say what caused the fire, which started around 6 p.m. Monday.
We were afar when we saw the fire burning, so we came closer. When we came, we were told they were burning, I think, some tires. And initially, by the time we got to know, it has risen to a level, and or sometimes I think about 4 containers were burnt. And we called the fire service, and they were here around 7 something. And I think they've done well.
Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Prince Billy Anaglate, says fire safety rules must be strictly adhered to help curb frequent fire outbreaks in the country.
It is just that all of us, including you, we need to cultivate the fire safety culture. We need to ensure that within our small premises in our home, even before you leave your home, you try to ensure that every electrical gadget is off. People leave some of those electrical gadgets in their offices. Those are some of the causes of these fires. So let us all individually cultivate the fire safety culture. Let us get committed to ensure that we prevent fires and put in safety measures in our premises until we are able to appreciate the importance of fire service and the safety measures that we always talk about. Some of these will continue to come.
This is the 3rd fire outbreak in 3 weeks after fire burnt the Amalina Kids Palace and the Abuja Slum, all in Accra. In all of this, the lack of access routes to these places coupled with the unavailability of water to refill the fire tenders resulted in the loss of properties worth thousands of Ghana cedis. Mr. Anaglate is also asking that houses be properly spaced to enable fire tenders have easy access to structures to enable them fight fire outbreaks. For Joy News, Derek Ekosam, Abossey Okai.
Well, Derek has joined us over the telephone with further details of this. He covered the story last night. Derek, thanks for being here.
You're welcome, Kamini.
Now, you observed some difficulties that confronted the fire service while they tried to douse the fire. Share some of those difficulties with us.
Well, I think that the biggest one will be the lack of access routes to these places where the fire outbreaks occur. You know, as the 3rd fire outbreak has come up in 3 weeks, and through all these, you realize that they are faced with the same challenge. When we went to Abuja, for instance, the Abuja slum, it was difficult for them to get their fire hydrant and the fire tender straight into the place to put out the fire. And the same problem confronted them last night at Abossey Okai. You realize that they get there somehow. There are times they get there on time, there are times they don't get there on time. But they get to the place and they realize that even putting their hoses to the tender to where the fire is, it's a big problem for them because there's no access route. At Abossey Okai, for instance, realized that the containers were closely knit together, and so it was difficult for them to get the hoses to the place, and so they had to stand at a further distance and direct the water into the fire to put it out. You also realize that they ran out of water very quickly. And when I was talking to Prince Billy Anaglate, he explained that there are times they have to put together about 3 or 4 hoses, which means that they may use more water than they ideally would use if they had used one hose because of the distance between where they park the fire tender and where the fire is. You'll also realize that some of the hoses were also leaking. And Anaglate was explaining that it was because of the pressure that was being exerted on the hoses from the fire tender so they could put out the fire on time. It took them over 2 hours to douse the fire, which was at just one place. It was between 4 containers, and so it was at one place. And it took them 2 hours. And it's been the same challenge they have faced throughout their fight to put out fire outbreaks that they encounter. And you also realize that just a few of them had nose masks on. And so those who had them had to go very close to the fire to put them out there. A lot of them were also outside. One other thing I also realized was that, you know, in such situations, it's easy for the fire to explode or for the burning materials to explode. What they had to do was to cordon off the area and push people away. But that has not been the case in all the places that I've been to, what I realized was that you find people around the place taking pictures, taking videos. Some others were even taking selfies just around the place the fire was burning. And for me, I think that it was not the best thing the fire service should do. They could have done better by actually pushing away people so that they could get access to the place. Even when the fire tenders were coming in, people were still standing in the way of the fire tenders, making it difficult for the firemen to get access to the place to fight the fire and douse it on time.
Oh, thank you very much, Derek. Derek Okosam joined us with details of how the Ghana National Fire Service had to brace for odds to be able to douse the fire, the Abossey Okai spare parts market. Now, we'll get in touch with the fire service and find out how you're dealing with some of these challenges that came to bear during their firefighting exercise last night. You're watching Joy News. There's more to come here, including a report by the Electoral Commission, which seems to indicate that some political parties may not be able to contest in 2016 because they do not have national political officers. So I'll be right back. Don't go away.